2 against 1. Come on, Lightwoods, show me what you got.
We're all Lightwoods. We're a team. This is what happens when you have a softie for a sister. Softie?
It's been years since Shadowhunters aired its finale, but the conversation around a potential season 4 still refuses to fade away. Even though Alicia Wainwright, who played Maya, the strong and loyal werewolf with a heart of gold, recently said that a continuation seems unlikely, fans aren't letting go of hope that the Shadow World could reopen one more time. Because the series still has such a loyal fan base, and because the world it created is too rich to be left unfinished, the idea of Shadowhunters Season 4 continues to spark excitement, theories, and a bunch of passionate debates. Based on Cassandra Clare's The Mortal Instruments series, Shadowhunters first premiered on Freeform and quickly built a dedicated audience. It followed Clary Fray, a seemingly ordinary girl who, on her 18th birthday, discovers she's a Shadowhunter, a half-angel warrior destined to fight demons. The show didn't just adapt Clare's work, it expanded it, adding depth, modern flair, and new layers to the relationships among Shadowhunters, Downworlders, and demons. Despite ending in 2019 after 3 seasons, fans have never stopped calling for a 4th, especially because the finale left just enough open doors to continue the story. To understand why everyone is still talking about Season 4, it helps to look back at where the show came from. Before Shadowhunters hit TV, there was the Mortal Instruments City of Bones movie in 2013, starring Lily Collins and Jamie Campbell Bower. Even though it had potential, the film didn't perform well enough at the box office to earn its sequel, City of Ashes. But rather than let Claire's Shadow World disappear, the story was given a second chance on television, and that's when Shadowhunters was born, with a new cast, a fresh tone, and room to grow into something much bigger. Now, when Wainwright was asked recently about a possible revival, she didn't rule it out completely, but she did admit it would be complicated. In her interview, she said she still loves the show and the character deeply, but the legalities are where things get tricky. "I forget who owns the rights to it," she explained, pointing out that several studios were involved and that getting all of them to agree on another season would be a massive challenge. It's not just a matter of interest, it's about paperwork, contracts, and who controls what. The show's production history does make things more tangled than it seems. Shadowhunters was produced by Constantin Film, a German company that also made the Mortal Instruments movie. They partnered with other studios to bring the series to television, which means multiple companies likely hold portions of the rights. If any one of them isn't on board, that alone could block a continuation. So while fans are more than ready for a Season 4, the decision would depend on several major players aligning their interests, and that's rarely simple in the entertainment world. But here's the thing, television history is full of surprises. Shows thought to be gone forever, like Gilmore Girls and Veronica Mars, have found their way back years later. And because Shadowhunters has maintained a strong, active fanbase long after its finale, it's not unrealistic to think that something could spark a return, even if it's a limited series, a revival movie, or a spin-off. Fans have kept the world alive online, trending the show regularly on social media, organizing petitions, and showing that there's still a genuine audience waiting. The finale itself left room for more storytelling. In the last episode, we saw Alec become the Inquisitor of the Clave and happily married to Magnus, who's now the High Warlock of Alicante. Isabel took over Alec's position as head of the New York Institute, while her relationship with Simon, who becomes a Downworlder deputy, was just starting to grow. Luke returned as a Shadowhunter, and Maya stepped up as the new alpha of the werewolf pack. Each of these endings felt satisfying, but not final. The biggest emotional thread, though, was Clary's. After being stripped of her Shadowhunter memories, she's left to live as a mundane. But in the closing moments, she unexpectedly spots Jace, and for a brief second, it seems like she remembers him. That tiny spark gave fans everything they needed to imagine what Season 4 could have been about. Clary finding her way back to who she truly is, possibly regaining her memory and fighting for her place in the Shadow World once again. If a revival ever happens, that storyline alone could serve as its emotional core. It would give the series a reason to reunite the team and dive back into the world of demons, angels, and forbidden love. Plus, a new generation of Shadowhunters could emerge, creating an even richer balance between the old and the new. Showrunners Darren Swimmer and Todd Slavkin once shared what their plans were for Season 4 before the show was unexpectedly cancelled. They revealed that many of the storylines in Season 3 had to be wrapped up faster than intended, meaning the finale wasn't originally meant to be the end. For instance, the Clary and Jace moment where she recognizes him was supposed to lead into a slow, emotional recovery arc for her. She would have been healing from her dark Clary phase and learning to forgive herself for the things she'd done. Jace, meanwhile, would have been there to help her rediscover herself and rebuild what they lost. The showrunners wanted to show Jace and Clary in a more grounded human light, going on dates, sharing quiet moments, and living a kind of normal life for Shadowhunters. It was meant to be a peek into what happiness could look like for them before new dangers appeared. Fans loved those softer moments, the ice skating date, the dinner with Simon, because they balance out the chaos of the demon hunting world. Season 4, according to Swimmer and Slavkin, would have leaned even more into that emotional side. Simon and Izzy's relationship also had more to give. Their connection, often called Sizzy by fans, was supposed to evolve more slowly. Originally, Season 3 would have ended with their long-awaited kiss, but it was meant to come with a twist. Izzy would have been consumed by fire right afterward, setting up an intense storyline for Season 4 where Simon helps heal her and rebuilds their bond over time. Because the show ended early, that entire arc was condensed, but the foundation for it was clearly there. Then there's the matter of Jonathan and the Seelie Queen, two characters who were meant to play much bigger roles in the next chapter. The showrunners explained that if Season 4 had gone ahead, the Seelie Queen would have been a major part of it, with her complex relationship with Jonathan unfolding gradually over multiple episodes. Both characters met their ends in Season 3 because of the rushed conclusion, but originally their storylines were meant to extend into something far deeper, showing how dangerous and seductive power could be in the shadow world. Another storyline that was planned for the 4th season would have expanded on secondary characters like Lilith and others introduced in Season 3. The creative team wanted to give these arcs more breathing room to let their motivations and conflicts develop rather than ending abruptly. Because Shadowhunters had built such a layered world, each supporting character had the potential to lead a subplot or even a spin-off. Season 4 could have tied all those threads together in a more mature and complete story. What's especially interesting is that both Swimmer and Slavkin have said they'd be open to revisiting Shadowhunters someday, whether as a reunion movie, a limited series, or even an animated continuation. They don't own the rights, but they've made it clear that if the opportunity ever came up, they'd be willing to return. That kind of openness keeps hope alive because it shows that the creative team behind the show still believes in its world. If Shadowhunters did return for Season 4, it could easily pick up where it left off while also reinventing itself. The show could explore how the shadow world has evolved under new leadership, how old alliances are tested, and how Clary's memory struggle ties into a larger supernatural threat. It could also introduce fresh characters, maybe new Shadowhunters trained by Isabel, or recruits from other institutes, bringing a new energy while keeping the heart of the original intact. Ultimately, the beauty of Shadowhunters lies in how alive its universe feels. Even though it ended years ago, the relationships, lore, and mythology continue to inspire fan art, fiction, and conventions. Wainwright mentioned how it warms her heart to see fans still so invested, saying she feels emotional when the show trends on social media. And that's exactly why the idea of Season 4 refuses to die. It's a story that still means something to people. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.